Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Let's learn and code together. Today we are solving question 56, merge intervals within LeetCode. So simply, this question gives us intervals and we need to see where they overlap. So for example, we can see that 1 and 3 overlap with 2 and 6. Since 2, 2 goes over or goes before 3 and then goes over it. So on and so on. You can see that 8 and 10 does not have a overlapping interval, so we will just return that to the output. And then same thing with 15 and 8. And then you can see here that the intervals 1 and 4 overlap with the intervals 4 and 5 because 4 match, so that's technically overlapping. So let's go ahead and get into it. This one is definitely a tricky question. So first off, we're going to start by sorting these intervals. And we're going to sort them by this key, the first key. Because if we can do that, then we can just check that this element right here, we can see, hey, is this element smaller than this element? If it is, then we know it's overlapping. And if it's not, we can just push the element that we've already merged, and then we can start with a new element. So we'll go ahead and say intervals dot sort, and then we'll say key equals lambda, and then we're going to say x 0. So like I said, that is sorting it by this first element here. And then we can say merged equals intervals 0, because merged is the variable that we're going to be returning for our final answer. So we're just going to initially just start with the first instance in intervals, and we're going to make this into an array. All right. So now we can go ahead and say for intervals, or for interval in intervals, then we'll go and say if merged, so the last element in merged, and then we're looking at the second index of it. So for if we were looking at example 1, it would be 3 is what we're looking at. So we'll say if this is less than interval 0, because remember we are comparing this value, this 3, to 2. So if this is less than interval 0, so the first element, we can just go ahead and say merged dot append interval. And that will, so that essentially what that will do is we can just return the non-merged intervals. Sorry. And then we'll say else. We will say merged, and then same thing. Second value is going to be equal to max of merged or, oops, sorry, not or, interval 1. Because if we find that, let's say for this example here, so this is obviously greater, so we need to merge these two, but we don't want this to be our end of the range. We want 6 to be the end of the range. So we'll take the max between 3 and 6 here, which would be 6. So our range would be 1 to 6, and then we can continue to the next instance. So last thing we need to do is just return merged, and that should be good. Awesome, let's go ahead and submit it. That works, and we got a decent runtime. Awesome. So guys, let me know if you like the solution, if you had a better solution. If you learned anything, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.